Thanks for joining us today. I'm Gabe Garish, owner of Backwoods Pursuit, and today we're going to take a look at the Catch and Release Odyssey V1 pant. These are a technical hunting and hiking pant from Catch and Release Camo. They have a ton of features and a ton of things that they offer for a hunting and hiking pant, so I'm going to go over each of those, as well as how they did for me out on the trail this year while I've been testing them. As always, really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Put links to that down in the description, as well as a link to our website, backwoodspursuit.com. Tons of gear reviews over there, so go check that out when you have a minute. Let's dive into the review here on the Catch and Release Odyssey V1 pant. All right, to get started, let's look at some of the specs on the Odyssey V1 pants here. These are a 92% polyester, 8% spandex material, so they have some stretch to them, but not an excessive amount. Makes them really, really comfortable. You got five belt loops here on the waistband, and the waistband is nice and thick here. Some people like a thick waistband, some people don't, so that's personal preference there, but it is a bit elastic here, so it does have a bit of stretch there. So if you're using this with, say, a pack or something like that, you may want to consider suspenders or a belt. When I wore this without a belt or suspenders, it did tend to the pants wanted to come right down a bit after a while. After hiking 4 or 5 miles, you tend to notice that a little bit. So keep that in mind. It comes with a lot of pockets and a lot of features here we're going to go over here in a minute. But weight-wise, they are right at 24 ounces, and these are a 34 regular. And so they're kind of in that mid-weight to heavyweight type of a weight. Material-wise, though, I would consider these to be something you could use for mid-season and even into some early season. And with a layer, you could go later season. So they're very versatile that way. I use these hiking out, high activity type of high output activities on some hikes where the temperatures were in the 20s, and they did just fine that way. Probably if you're going to sit down for any period of time, you want to put layers on underneath that. And then on warmer days when you're hiking, they were still just fine. And for a couple of reasons here that we'll go over now with some of the details of the build of these pants. So one of the things that's awesome about these is they do feature hip vents here, and it's a nice mesh on there on both sides of the hips here. So on your warmer days, it's going to extend the usability, the temperatures that you can use these under if you open up those hips, the hip vents there, so that on the warmer days you're going to vent a little bit better there. Because this material for me was more of like a midweight type of material, so great for your October type of rifle, deer hunting, elk hunting, that kind of thing, but can also be used earlier season because of those hip vents. That really makes a big deal, or makes a big difference there. On the pockets here, they're kind of a cutaway pocket on the front and fleece lined on the interior. And I have a lot of pockets in these pants. So you got, of course, the two in the front here, and then two cargo pockets here that are snap on the front there. And then on the back, you also have two zippered pockets for a wallet or whatnot on the back, and those are all fleece lined. So they're full of pockets there. Of course, the extra pockets add to that extra weight. That's why you'd say you don't have an ultralight type of a pant, say something like those Forloh Solar pants that we just reviewed, or the Sitka Ascent. Those are 11 to 12 ounces, so you have a lot more weight, but you have a lot more features in a pant like this. So there's just a preference there on what you prefer. Now here on the front here, you also have the ability to add or take away knee pads. They come with knee pads. You have a flap here that folds over, a zippered pocket right there, and that's where you put your knee pad. I took them out on this because I'm not a huge knee pad fan, at least when I'm hiking and doing a lot of activity that way. It's great for crawling and whatnot if you're stalking animals, but both have knee pad options there. And then also both sides here, you've got a knee-high zipper here that is two-way zipper, so you can pull that down if you need to do more venting when you're hiking. So you can really extend the range that you can use this, or you can pull it from the bottom here and open that up and make it easy on and off with your boots in the morning. If you have some big heavy boots that you're needing to put these on over, it really makes that easy. So that's on both sides, and you have a two-way zipper there on both sides of the pants. So really nice that way. Now as far as the cut and the sizing, these were pretty consistent with the sizing that, for me anyways. These are a 34 regular, or I think they're medium, 34 size, according to the website. So they fit me very well. I typically wear 33 or 34 in jeans, so they were right on spot on that way. They were a little tight at first, so I found when I first got them, I had to undo the hip vents here just a little bit, but over time they kind of stretched just a little bit to make them really, really comfortable that way. So after a little bit, they really have become super comfortable and don't have to do that anymore. Now as far as the cut on the legs, they're a fairly traditional cut. So they're not a tapered cut like a lot of your pants out there these days. You know, those, like I mentioned earlier, those Sitka Ascent or a lot of the Sitka pants, even those 4-low pants that we just reviewed, they have a more tapered cut. These ones do not. So if you're a fan of the traditional style cut, you'll probably like these more so. They've got more material here, so you're not going to have that, it's not going to be hugging your leg as it goes down towards your calf or anything like that. The pockets here are the kind of pockets, they're pleated here, so they give you a little little extra volume there. But they do hang out just a little bit, I noticed, even when there's nothing in there. So they're more of a true cargo pocket that pulls out, rather than some of those cargo pockets will be on the interior and they're completely flush. So different styles, different preferences there, but they are nice for holding your gloves or hats, beanies, something like that. So great options that way. Really makes these a super, super versatile pant and really, really comfortable. Now, a couple other things, they are very, very quiet and I haven't noticed any noise whatsoever. They're quiet pants, which is great for your archery season if you want to use them for early season. And they're very durable. Yeah, they're on the heavier side for sure, but that aids in the durability of what they offer. So I'm not concerned whatsoever about using these in thorny type of areas. So they're going to be real nice and durable that way, and their material seems to really going to be holding up well for me. So as far as things that I liked and things that I didn't like in these pants, weight is one thing. Obviously, you've got 24 ounces is on the heavier side for a mid-season pant, but they are super versatile. So there's a trade-off there. When you go really ultralight with pants, you tend to not have pockets, not have the zippers. Knee pads are oftentimes not available on super lightweight pants, so it's a give and take there. If you're someone who just wants just a bare bones minimum type pant that's ultra lightweight, these are not going to be what you're looking for necessarily. But if you want a pant that is super versatile, that you can use early season all the way to late season with a little later underneath, these are going to be a great option for you. I really liked the hip vents. When it's warm out, that really makes a big difference in extending the usable temperature of these pants. So that was really nice that way, and they were super comfortable as well. One thing I did notice though is you want to make sure, while I was out hiking, you want to make sure that these buttons are snapped. If they're not, they're a steel button, so they'll make some noise and they'll kind of chatter on you. So you always want to make sure that those are snapped. If you don't, you'll probably be annoyed by hearing that button flapping on you and snapping, banging against itself that way. One thing I also noticed that was kind of a like and a dislike. I like having this ability to open that up, make sure getting your boots on and off, or getting the pants on and off without having to take your boots off, which is really nice. But the zipper here on the bottom is a little on the big side. If it was a little more streamlined, there was times if you're I would notice that if you do wear these without shoes, if you're walking around, then that zipper will kind of hit against the floor, that kind of thing. So it adds a little bit of weight to the bottom of the pants. Not my favorite that way, but it does add, again, to the versatility. So it's a pro and a con that way. Now, if you like knee pads, you're going to like these in the sense that removing them or adding them is really, really easy. The zipper's here on the outside and the front, so you just throw them in there or take them out. Other pants that have knee pads, a lot of times you have to flip them on the inside. They're kind of inside of the knee here. That makes it a whole lot easier. Downside to that is this flap here adds a little bit of bulk right around your knee area. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, because at first I noticed you could feel that extra material there. Probably don't even need that flap necessarily, but it's there. It gives you a little extra protection for that zipper on the zipper that you take the knee pads in and out of. So a couple of things there. I didn't love, I'm someone who doesn't love a real hefty waistband, and that's what this is. It's super durable, but I would personally prefer a little bit narrower of a waistband, but it is comfortable because it does flex quite a bit. I would prefer having some kind of rubberized band on the interior here to help those pants stay up better when you're hiking. Because I did notice, like I mentioned earlier, when using these without a belt or without suspenders and hiking, they do tend to want to work down, even though they're snug at first when I put them on. Because they're just elastic. Any elastic is going to work its way down over time, just from pulling on that. So from your legs moving and pulling, the pack pushing on that and everything else. So something to consider there. Use a belt or suspenders with a pack for sure if you're going to be doing a lot of hiking that way. Now, one other thing I wish was a little bit better on this was the pockets here are on the shallow side. They're not too bad. I've used some pants that have shallower pockets, but if you're wanting to, say, put your phone or something in there, it's not quite deep enough to really house it if your phone is a little bit on the bigger side. So I wish the pockets were just a little bit deeper. It's not a huge deal, but just something that I noted while I was using these. So overall, really nice pants. That seem to be real well made, and long term here we'll see how they hold up. But they're super comfortable. They're super versatile. You know, a lot of zippers options on the legs. You've got the zippers on the hip here for the vents. You've just got a lot of pockets as well. Downside to that is they are on the heavier side for a mid-weight type of pants. By comparison, something like the Sitka Timberline pants, which are a late season pant that are fleece lined, they're approximately or roughly a similar weight to these. So, you know, those aren't going to have nearly the versatility of something like this either. So you pay for the versatility in weight, but you do have a pant that can work for a wide range of uses. So it is nice that way. So pros and cons to it certainly, but they're nice, comfortable, great pant from Catch and Release Camo. So go check them out. I'll put a link to these down in the description, and drop any questions or comments for me. Happy to help if I can and point you in the right direction. Thanks for watching here today. We'll see you next time.